let's talk about contract type when you are submitting an offer. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? In our area in Panama City Beach, Florida, there are multiple different contracts that you can select from to write an offer on, that sellers can ask offers to be written on. But in our area, there's one particular type of contract that stands out above others, and it's called the as-is contract. So by default, if you hear the word as is, the assumption is that you are agreeing to purchase the property as is, no repairs, no credits to closing, take it or leave it type of offer, essentially. And as a seller, unfortunately, a good majority of realtors out there don't explain the differences between an as-is and a non-as-is contract, and which I think is doing a big disservice for a seller, to be honest with you, because there are some very big distinctions between the two. And for me personally, on any of my listings, I never suggest the as-is contract to my sellers, but that's a different video actually. So let's talk about the as-is. So on an as-is contract, if you negotiate in an inspection period of time that you want to have the property either formally inspected, or in this case, an as-is, you can self-inspect actually, and you negotiate in a period of time to do that. Let's say average is 7 days, maybe up to 10 days, depending on the type of property and the type of inspections that you want to have. During that inspection period, you as the buyer can cancel for any reason, and you are entitled to get your earnest money back. Okay, so that is a contingency within the contract that helps to protect you and your earnest money. Now, let's say you do that inspection period and there's some items that come up. Now there's a big difference between, normal wear and tear, a couple little things here, a loose doorknob, trim that needs to be touched up, things like that. That's gonna be normal stuff because, most likely you're buying a resale house, or you're buying a condo that's been used as a vacation rental. So all things to be expected. However, if you come across some things, if the inspector comes across some things that are of bigger items, let's say some concerns about the roof, the concerns about the air conditioning system, electrical, plumbing, if there's any active leaks on the property. I mean, these are gonna be things that you as the buyer are gonna want the seller to address and preferably repair prior to closing, correct? So once you get the inspection report back, you and I will go over it, and then we'll make a decision if there's some items that we do want to ask the seller for. Now, keep in mind, you got the seller over here who's like, oh, well, it's an as-is contract, you're gonna take it or leave it type of thing, because they haven't been really educated that even though it says that, if there's some big things going on with your property, you probably need to get them addressed and taken care of and fixed. So 99% of the time, you're still going to have some potential negotiations going on with that property after you get the inspection. So at that point, I'm going to go back to the listing agent. I'm going to say, look, here's the findings on the inspection report. I'll send them over like the summary report and say, these particular items or this particular item, we really do want the seller to address and repair prior to closing. So then at that point, the listing agent is going to go back to their sellers and share that information with them, and the seller can decide to either repair the item or items that you're asking. They can agree to give you some type of a credit, preferably in closing costs, so it's less money out of your pocket at closing, and then that way you can make the repairs afterwards. Or they can be like, we're not doing it. It's as is. We're not going to do any kind of adjustment to the price, to the closing costs. We're not going to fix anything. And at that point, you as the buyer, you're still within that inspection period of time, can say, okay, sorry you feel that way, but we're going to cancel on the property and get your earnest money back, or you can continue to carry on with the contract at that point. So even though it is a as-is contract, and in the seller's mind, because again, they haven't been educated maybe to the extent that they should be, and given the opportunity to use other type of contracts, which actually is better for both parties, to be honest with you. The assumption as is, don't get freaked out, because you still have the ability to negotiate inspection and then address anything that comes up, and your earnest money will not be at risk during that period of time. So That is what an as-is contract is in our area. That is one of the big differentiating features of that versus the other standard contract that nobody except for me apparently likes to use. And that is your information for today on contracts. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you don't mind, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I love providing educational content to my buyers and my sellers on a very routine basis, and all my contact information is at the end of this video, so you can reach out to me to start your real estate search or to list your property. Have a wonderful day. Bye.